What is NFT? Is NFT a boom or is NFT a bubble? Should you buy a NFT asset for your artwork? Well, there are a lot of questions about NFT and a lot of uncertainty. In this video, we'll talk about what is NFT and what are the pros and cons about NFTs. Before we get in, my name is Ram, a certified blockchain solution architect and also a founder of Blockchain Experts Club. Before we talk about NFT, let's talk about what is NFT stands for. Non-fungible token is what NFT is referred as, and non-token we all understand, but what is fungible? Well, fungible is, if I have to explain what is fungible, let's take an example of 500 rupees. The value of 500 rupees is with a single currency, or this particular note, it still holds for 500 rupees, or I can have 300 rupee notes and one 200 rupee notes. So the total value of these four notes is still the same 500 rupees. So whether you have a single currency or a single note which is 500 rupees or a bunch of notes which equals the same amount, that is fungibility. So I can give one more example about fungibility so that you understand better. Let's take gold as an example. You have 10 grams of gold coin and you have 1 gram gold coin and 10 of them. What is the total value? Still the same, 10 grams, right? Whether you have a single coin which is weighing about 10 grams or you have 10 coins which are weighing about same 10 grams but in a smaller quantity. So that's about. So the fungible assets can be anything. It could be stocks, it could be crude oil, where the value is same. Whether you exchange or maybe you divide, the total value of that asset is same. So now we'll talk about non-fungibility. So what is non-fungible? Anything which is unique and which cannot have a same value. So that become a non-fungible asset. What are the examples? Well, I created a logo and that is my asset and nobody should be able to reproduce that. Well, we have the copyright system in place, right? And why should we have NFT tokens for that? Well, we have the copyright system for protecting your asset. But see, the copyright is to protect your asset so that nobody else can use it. But whereas in a non-fungible asset, for example, a digital asset, let's say I created artwork, I want to sell it, asset which you wanted to exchange for some monetary value or some other benefits. So now you're passing on your responsibility, now you're passing on the ownership of that asset to somebody else. And once you sell it, that becomes their asset. And the owner has no control on that particular asset. For let's say, you're an artist or maybe you're a photographer. I used to take a lot of good photos and used to sell them, but once I sell the photo, I don't have rights to that particular photo and they can use it anywhere. That is being happening now. So whether you are selling artwork, your digital copies, or let's say music or pictures, people can use it because they own the asset and you can sell it to multiple people. And with the NFT, the moment you create you buy this NFT token for your asset, entire blockchain knows that okay, you are the owner for that particular asset. What is blockchain? A lot of technical words. I'm just giving a glimpse of what is the technicality. So blockchain is typically a database where the records are stored in various nodes. Instead of storing in one server, one database, the same exact replica is stored in hundreds, thousands of nodes, thousands of servers across the world. So that gives a more security and more reliability on the data. There's a different topic. You can watch my channel about what is blockchain. There's a lot of videos about that. So we'll come back to NFT. So should you buy NFT or should you have NFT art for your artwork or maybe some of your asset? We'll go with the example. Let's say you created artwork and you wanted to sell that artwork. Let's take an example of Picasso's Mona Lisa's art. And now that is owned by a museum or maybe one particular authority, and if you wanted to buy it, well, you have to pay huge, and you will have only one person can have that, right? Not by many people. And the moment you sell your art, you don't have any control on that particular asset. But with NFT token, you can get some benefits for the rest of the life for that particular product. Let's say you created a beautiful painting and you converted that into digital art. Oh, remember that only digital arts can have NFT tokens. For a physical, NFT tokens will not work because we can't track, we can't trace it. So it's only for the digital asset. So now this digital asset which you created, you want to sell it. And in order to sell it, you need to get an NFT. And you have to probably pay about $10 to $15 Ether cost for the NFT to be generated and given to you. So now the product value is $10 or $15 plus your price. Now it could be $100, $200, depending on your skill, or maybe depending on your art which you want to sell. Now let's say person A wants to buy your artwork, and they have to pay anywhere between $50 to $60 Ether cost as a transaction, plus your fee and probably the margin. So it could be anywhere between $200 to $300 US. And when this happened, you get the entire amount. And for example, the same person, the person A who bought it, he wants to sell it again, or he or she wants to sell it again for a higher cost, let's say for $500. And you can put a commission, let's say whether the person is selling to other person or what are the chain, like till the end, the nth route, you'll keep on getting commissions. For every sale, you might be getting 10% of the sale value. So if they're selling for $500, you'll get $50. So that is the advantage of NFTs. You are always benefited with that particular token, and you're always rewarded. Let's talk about the example. The cat GIF file, which have been sold for thousands of dollars. Well, I personally believe, who is going to use that cat by spending that much? Is there any return on investment? What will I do with that GIF image? Is that going to get me any branding or any promotions? Well, certain people have different notion how they think about the assets, and it's probably a good idea to own that asset, and probably that could be a branding. Instead of spending now $50,000 on a television commercial, you spend about $30 or $30,000 on this asset, and everybody knows about you because you spend a lot. And they'll try to find out what is your business and things like that. So that could be one of the PR activity to attract the audiences. And the second example I would say is, let's say your digital art, you wanted to showcase in all the museums across the world at the same time. How is that possible? In the physical world, you can keep that asset at one location at a time, and you can charge to the museum for keeping that artwork, and probably from the visitors, based on the commissions, you can take some revenue. So now with the digital mediums, now probably you can have a screen where they can showcase your artwork across the world at the same time. And imagine you're getting commissions from everywhere in the world. So of course that asset has to be so good, something like a Mona Lisa's picture, so that people will come and look at your artwork, or maybe they wanted to use it for their own personal use or professional use. That's up to them. So you're making money continuously with this digital asset. So that is possible with NFT. Why? The moment the token is generated for that particular asset, nobody can replicate that. Let's say Ram, I can just take a photocopy of that. I can just say save as and start using it, or maybe I'll just make a small change. I'll just change the color and I'll apply for one more NFT. So we'll take the same example of Mona Lisa. I've created the artwork, a digital artwork is created, and somebody else downloaded it, or maybe taken a picture, and they made their signature, just added signature, and when they apply for a new NFT, they'll get a different NFT because the content is different. If you're generating an NFT for the same content, that will be showing as a duplicate content, but with duplicate key. But if there's any change to that particular asset, even a minor change, a color code or anything, that will get you a different token, and you can start distributing that as your own token. But as of now, since there are no regulatories, there's no government bodies to monitor them, it's going to be a risky business. But again, I'm just talking about positive use cases now. There are a lot of negative. We'll talk about the pros and cons. So that's about the examples of NFT. Let's talk about the investment. Is it a good investment to have NFTs? If your digital asset is pretty good, are you sure that you're going to make money? Go ahead and get the NFTs. It's a bit costly now, but now as the ether cost goes up, probably it's going to be more expensive, but we need something else. Maybe some other platform which can reduce the cost to get these NFTs on a blockchain network. Need not to be just Ethereum, maybe some other networks which will be affordable for general use. Is it a bubble? I think it need not to be a bubble. NFTs will be staying, but in my perception, in my view, it could be only for certain people. Not everybody could afford NFTs because cost is going to increase, and the audience now, whether the person will buy that asset, because now if you go to Canva or any other website, there are tons of assets available, and why should somebody pay hundreds, thousands of dollars to get one GIF or maybe image? So that's something as of now I don't know whether people will be able to pay that high cost and get some assets which you could have get it for cents or maybe $1 or $2. So it need not to be bubble, but there's a hype for sure. And so as I said, this is very specific to certain section of people. Maybe somebody who can afford high cost, or maybe somebody who's really good in artwork and they want to make money. But who's gonna buy? As of now, I don't know. Now let's talk about what are the pros and cons about NFTs. We'll start with the pros. The first one is for sure you have a long-term income with a single asset. As I said, if your artwork is so good, you'll be continue to get that percentage of the income as long as the asset is being exchanged from one person to other person. So continuous, I would say, a passive income is always possible with NFT tokens on the assets. And the second advantage is that, as I said, your digital asset can be displayed across the locations at the same time, and you can still earn money, whereas that is not possible with the physical copy. So that's the advantage of being a digital at the same time, having authenticity of that particular asset. So maybe the museum wants to have only like Picasso or maybe Ravi Verma's artwork across the museums at the same time. That is possible with NFTs. And the third benefit is that security and authenticity. The moment NFT is generated for that particular asset, nobody can break that because it's being sitting into blockchain technology, a tamper-proof platform. Those are the pros for NFTs. Now let's come to the concerns. So what are the concerns? The first is having a duplicate copy. How do you control that? As I said, as of now, people can just make a copy, make some minor change, add a signature or a layer, and that will become your copy. And even that can be generated as, even that person can generate a NFT for that asset and start selling it. And there's no rule or maybe governance in place. So that brings to the second concern, that there's no governance in place to prevent these duplicates. Whereas the copyright, at least there's a government authority or certain authorities involved to protect your asset. Nobody can use that asset. Same color codes or maybe different color codes. That asset is bit protected, and probably you can file a lawsuit. But in the blockchain world, the governance is missing for duplicate things. The third is, I think the NFTs are not for everybody. So let's say I create an artwork and I want to sell this artwork. Well, who's gonna buy that? Who's gonna pay about $100 to get that artwork, where the same art is available freely on the internet, on the lot of platforms? So will somebody pay for that? That brings to the final one, high cost. As the Bitcoin cost is increasing, the Ether cost is also increasing. So people will have hard time getting the tokens by paying higher fees. So as of now, that's high cost factor to get your digital. If your artwork is having hundreds of thousands of dollars value, it may be a low value for you. But if you are creating a simple art and you try to start selling it, I don't think so. If you go to these current NFT art websites, I'm gonna give the links below. There's like hundreds, thousands of art. Are people really buying it? Well, there are very few, but compared to the amount of data we have, amount of arts we have, the sales is quite less. It's only that super rich, maybe somebody who wants to make some branding, maybe they are buying it. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, I could be wrong, but I see that as a high value investment. I could be wrong. Different people have different perception, but for me, that's a high cost. Okay, that's about NFT artwork. And if you have any other questions about NFT art, do let me know in the form of comments so that I can respond to you as soon as I can. That's it on this video. Keep watching my channel and subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed, so that I can share more such information about blockchain and some of the solutions provided by the blockchain. Bye for now.